Hello, Eagle fans. Welcome to Week 6 of the Coaches Show with Mike Fuller. I'm Pat Wadlington. Last Friday night, the Eagles had a tough victory against the Mineral Wells Rams. Coach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
It was an expected difficult victory. It was a dogfight, wasn't it?
Right, it was. Going into the game, we knew that Mineral Wells was good. I think some people around town, asked me and didn't think they were for real, but we watched film and our guys knew they were a tough team with a lot of strong kids, good size, some really good skill kids, good quarterbacks. So we knew it was going to be a tough game, and we were confident that we were going to win it.
Well, and I know that during the week it was kept a little bit low, but I know Peyton was struggling. We had some other injuries, and the kids, they had some people had to step up, and some people had to play through some pain and some injuries. Did they not?
Absolutely. It's football's not a one man game. There's 11 guys in the field at a time, and there's 40 some odd guys on the team, and it takes all of them sometimes. And everybody's got a role, everybody's got a job to do, and when someone goes down, like Peyton did, we were fortunate enough to have Dylan Nation ready to step in, and other guys picking up the slack and just doing a good job offensively. And it just so happened that our entire defensive unit really picked up the intensity a great deal, holding a team that had averaged close to 50 points a game to 12. They scored the first 2 times they had the ball and didn't get anything after that. We got some great turnovers, great play. It was just an all-around team victory. Well,
and it was a great team victory, and we're now 2-0 in district and continuing our march toward our goals. And we've got some of those people that you were talking about as guests coming up. We've got Coach Roth and some players. So let's start talking to them.
Sounds good.
Here we are with Coach Tony Roth, defensive coordinator for the Eagles. Coach, how are you?
Doing good, thanks, Pat.
I wanted to ask you, Mike and I were talking in the previous segment about our defensive effort, and Mineral Wells, they had some talented kids on offense at quarterback, wide receiver. They had a big running back that could churn up some yards and has all season. They scored on their first 2 drives of the game, and then we shut them out from that point forward. They didn't score again. What do you attribute that to?
Well, you're right in saying that they did have threats all over the field. They had 2 outside receivers that could get deep in a hurry. Quarterback could throw the ball anywhere he needed to. It was a scrambling threat. And, of course, the big running back they had. So they were very dynamic in everything they could do offensively. Really what we talked about all week was just staying focused play after play after play. We kind of played some soft zone stuff. We gave them some underneath things early and just said we're going to make them put together long drives. And they did. Those first couple drives were 12 and 16 play drives. Right. And so they were able to connect on things and put things together. But we just told the kids just to stick with it, stick with the plan. And they did. And we got some breaks that went our way, got some interceptions and key turnovers, and things went our way.
Well, and you talk about stick with it, stick with it, stick with it. There was one play, I believe it was in the third quarter. We were leading 13-12, and Mineral Wells had put together a drive, and they threw the ball out to the flats, and the guy broke away and was going in to score. And he was literally inches away from scoring a touchdown to put them ahead. And I looked up from the stands, and our kids were cheering and excited, and suddenly we had the football. So talk to us about that play.
Yeah, that definitely was a huge play, a huge swing, a 14-point swing in the situation there. I had actually turned my head and ripped my headset off because we had blown a coverage blown an assignment in the flat, and I was frustrated with that. And then I look up, and everybody's screaming and hollering, and took the ball away from them literally on the 6-inch line. And then our offense put together a 99.5-yard drive and ate up a lot of clock, and it was huge for us in that part of the game.
That's fantastic. And the kids just played. They played tough. They played through injuries. They played through difficult situations. I think Mason Bowers, the defensive player of the game, with 20 tackles. Congratulations on a great effort, Coach.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You bet. Coach, let's talk to some of your players.
Sounds good.
Offensively, we've got the Nation brothers, Dylan and Addison.
Awesome.
And we're here on the square, and our defensive players are actually working at Sweetie Pie's, delivering a few salads as we speak. So Cole Vaughn will be here in just a second.
Okay, sounds great.
Here we are with Cole Vaughn. He's taking a quick break from his table over there at Sweetie Pie's, waiting on some customers to come over and talk to us. Cole's a senior linebacker. How you doing?
Well, right now I'm pretty busy, but anything for Eagle football.
That's right.
Always got time for EFND, so here I am.
That's right. Well, Cole, we could have had you on every week. and you've been having a great season, and we just haven't been able to. You were always doing something, and just talk about how the season has gone for the defense in general, and your play. I mean, you've just been an anchor there at inside linebacker.
Well, Mr. Pratt, I'll tell you what. Coming off this being my third varsity season, I know that coming into the season, I knew that we had a lot of young guys, and in 2 days we worked real hard, and all of Ryan, Durden, Jorge Martinez, Mason Bauer, all the older guys that have sort of been there, done that, really did well of corralling everybody and leading everyone in the right direction of where we needed to be as a defense. And in saying that, it looks like we've done a pretty good job so far of really pushing everybody in the right direction, especially with last week's second half shutout against Mineral Wells.
Yeah, last week was amazing, and you've been doing a great job leading. We've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of work left. We've got goals that are unachieved. We've got Hershey this week. They're having a struggling season, but that's always some time when somebody can sneak up on you. So what do you do as a leader of the defensive unit to make sure that your guys don't kind of drop off during the week when you have an opponent that everybody else expects you to beat?
Well, one thing I can say about that is that Hershey has always been the type of underdog opponent that nobody really expects much of, but it seems like every year they have the potential to be great, and last year they had some really good athletes, and as a leader of the defense, I don't believe in just writing someone off. We're going to come to work and practice hard every day and focus on them just as we would focus on Graham or like we did Mineral Wells or any other team at that.
Well, I know, Cole, I've watched you all season. You keep playing the way you're playing. You keep leading the way that you're leading, and the defense is going to continue to improve and do well and stranglehold people. So I appreciate what you've done this season. I appreciate you being on the show, too. And I think there's some people over there waiting on some more water or tea.
I should probably get back to work, huh?
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Here we are with two players from the Eagles offense from Friday night. They happen to be brothers. We have Addison Nation, number 8, to my left, and Dylan Nation, number 7, to my right. The third quarter of Friday night happened to be the quarter of the nations, and we're going to talk about those plays. Addison, I'll start with you. Let me set this up a little bit. We were down 12-6 at halftime. We got the kickoff, and we marched the ball down, and we had it in the red zone. And I believe there was a play on third down from about the 10-yard line that you had run a route on and didn't get the ball thrown to you, even though that you were open. And luckily there was a person there that told you to keep your head up and keep running your routes and keep your head in the game, that the ball would be coming your way, did you not?
Yes, and I believe that person was you.
It might have been. It might have been.
Correctly.
And on maybe the very next play, it was fourth down. We were still down 12-6. What happened?
Well, it was 4th and 10, like you said, and we knew that we needed to get the ball in the end zone. And on that particular play, Coach had called a play to where we had a 2-receiver set, moving one receiver in motion to get 3 receivers versus 1 to really pressure the right side of that defense. And when that play was called, I knew that it would be a good play right there on the goal line on 4th and 10. And that play was almost busted because the motion did not actually happen. So we had the 2 receiver set, and the ball was thrown and it was tipped, and it just landed right in my breadbasket. And I knew I had to get the first down because it was 4th and 10 from the 11, and I was right in between the first down and the goal line.
So we had it 1st and goal on the 1, and then we scored, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's awesome. We took the lead at that point, 13-12. So that kind of leads me into where you fit into the equation, young nation. Mineral Wells responded to that touchdown and started driving down the field and got to about our 20 or so, threw a pass, and Coach Roth had talked about this earlier, and literally a receiver had the ball and was about to score a touchdown, reached for the goal line, and someone stripped it, and we got the ball like we were 99 yards away from the other, our touchdown, but we had the ball. A few plays later, we'd gotten it out to about the 20 or 30-yard line, and you broke a long run.
Yes, sir.
How did that feel?
Well, it felt great just having a couple of experiences on varsity, just getting some playing time.
Right.
After I broke that long run, I just felt more confident about myself and trying to help us get a lead.
Well, and it wasn't just the long run. I mean, I've seen some of the film. You had about 5 cut blocks that were great. And leading up to the week, Peyton McAllister, the junior running back, had been hobbled all week long with a bad ankle. And so during the week, did you prepare any differently? Did you know going in that you were going to have more opportunities this week?
Yes, I did. I was just preparing for him not to get to playing time. I knew that he was going to try to play, but I was just preparing myself for if he didn't. I knew I was going to have to step up and make some plays because he's a big playmaker, and our offense needed some big plays.
Well, they got one from you there in the third quarter, and I'm not, there's no replay in high school, but I think you scored. So
too.
I would have given you the touchdown. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Coach, your players have done a great job on the field and off the field and on the show. They were awesome. I really enjoyed talking to them. But now, Coach, it's your favorite time.
It is.
It is time for the Around the Town question for Coach Fuller.
Tyler Pineland, and I'm from the 5th grade at Randall Elementary. And my question is, how do you motivate your team to play 100% against a team that has an 0-7 record?
Well, Tyler, that's a great question, and I got a good answer for you. To me, it doesn't really matter what our opponent's like. I can't really figure out why the team that we're playing hasn't won a game yet, but that's not my job to figure out. It's not our players' job to figure out. Our job is to play as hard as we possibly can every week. We have a saying, we talk about it all the time. Every practice that we go into, every time we go into the weight room, every time we step on the field, when we come off, we're either going to be better or worse. You can't stay the same. So that's going to be our motivation this week. We're going to also assume that since Hershey has great athletes, that they're going to get it all together and play a great game this Friday night. Our opponent, I think this is a good lesson for anybody. Your opponent should never dictate the level of effort that you give during the week or during the game. But I appreciate that question, and I hope you take that advice and use it in your future.
Well, Coach, Tyler's question is a perfect lead-in to the next segment, and that is, how do you assess Hershey?
Well, we've watched them on film. If you don't really look at the scoreboard and you don't know what it is, what their record is, you just look at how they play and the kind of athletes that they have and the players they have at different positions. You see flashes of some really good things. They've got some really good athletic players. They're really young, for one thing. And the young players, a lot of times will make some mistakes. But we're gonna remember last year. It was a very tough game, very very close game. We were down early and had to really play some great football in the second half to win it. That's kind of my assessment of them. They're dangerous. They play hard. They've got some good athletes on their team, and we're certainly not going to take them lightly.
Yeah, it's why they play the game every week.
That's
Ask
right.
Bob Stoops.
That's right.
That's
Exactly.
a perfect example.
Right.
Well, Coach, I know even leading up to the Mineral Wells game, and we had some injuries, and some kids were limping around, and the training room was busy.
Right.
And through the Mineral Wells game, we had some more injuries. So, how's the team just generally health-wise, and are they going to get healed up this week?
Well, I think we may have a player or two not able to play this week, but that's the way it goes. And in football during the season, especially when you're playing tough teams. Of course, it can happen against anybody. It doesn't have to be a great team, but we've got some guys with nicks and bruises and bumps and sprains and things like that. But we're hoping to get them as healthy as we can, as quick as we can. But the bottom line is, if they're not available, we got other people that are, and whoever we step on the field with on Friday night is who we expect to win with.
Coach, that looks like it's a wrap for this week. Eagle fans, it's this Friday night at 7:30. Your Eagles against the Hershey Huskies at Memorial Stadium in Wichita Falls. Everybody's going to be there early tailgating. The bandwagon leaves about 5:30, and there's still space on it. So get out there and support your Eagles. And remember, Eagle Fight
never dies.
Stay tuned for the highlights from last week's game, and thanks for watching.